Hi everyone. In this video, we'll learn useful English grammar structures and everyday idioms from a scene in Alice in Wonderland, where Alice describes her dream to her father. Let's see the dialogue and learn how to use these expressions in real English conversations.
I'm falling down a dark hole. Then I see strange creatures.
What kind of creatures?
I'm falling down a dark hole. Here, Alice uses the present continuous, I'm falling. Normally, this tense describes something happening right now, but in stories and dreams, we also use it to make the action feel real and immediate, as if the person is experiencing it at this very moment. So by saying I'm falling, Alice makes the dream sound alive, like she is still in that moment and feeling the fall. Then I see strange creatures. Now she switches to the simple present, I see. We often use the simple present in storytelling to describe a sequence of events, almost like showing the viewer each scene, one after another. It's as if she's saying, while I'm falling, the next thing that happens is I see strange creatures. This combination of tenses makes the dream feel vivid, step by step, easy to imagine, like watching short clips in her mind. And to make it even clearer, let me give you a few more examples using the same structure. Example 1. I'm walking through a dark forest, and suddenly I see a small cabin. Just like Alice, the present continuous makes the action feel real, and I see shows the next thing that appears in the story. Example 2. I'm running through the city, and I see a strange man watching me. Here, I'm running gives us the feeling of motion, and I see shows what happens next in the sequence.
Well, there's a dodo bird, a rabbit in a waistcoat, a smiling cat.
I didn't know cats could smile.
Neither did I.
In this line, Alice lists the strange creatures she sees in her dream. She says, there's a dodo bird, a rabbit in a waistcoat, a smiling cat. The structure there is or theirs is used to talk about something that exists or appears in a scene. It's very common when describing a picture, a place, or in this case, a dream. Also, notice how she describes each creature. A rabbit in a waistcoat. Here, in is used to describe clothing. In English, we often say a man in a suit, a girl in a red dress, a boy in a hat. Here, we also have a useful structure, adjective plus noun. For example, a smiling cat means a cat that is smiling, which is unusual and imaginative. English uses this pattern a lot, both for normal things and for fantasy descriptions. For example, a tall man, a beautiful garden, normal, and a glowing bird, a dancing tree, a talking dog, fantasy. These short adjective plus noun combinations help us create clear and vivid images, just like the ones in Alice's dream.
Well, there's a dodo bird, a rabbit in a waistcoat, a smiling cat.
I didn't know cats could smile.
Neither did I.
I didn't know cats could smile. In this sentence, we have a very common English structure. I didn't know plus that clause. We use this pattern when we learn something new or when something surprises us. For example, I didn't know he spoke French. I didn't know this restaurant was so good. Here, the speaker says, I didn't know cats could smile. She uses the past simple didn't know because she's talking about her previous belief, something she thought before this moment. The phrase could smile uses the modal verb could, which shows ability. So the meaning is, I didn't know it was possible for cats to smile. This structure is very useful in everyday English when you want to express surprise in a polite and natural way. When Alice says, neither did I, she is responding to her father's sentence. I didn't know cats could smile. This is a negative sentence because it uses didn't. To agree with a negative statement in English, we don't say me too. Instead, we use the structure, neither plus auxiliary verb plus subject. In this case, the auxiliary verb is did because the original sentence is in the past simple, I didn't know. So Alice says, neither did I. It means, I also didn't know that. This is the natural and correct way to show negative agreement in English. You'll hear this structure often in everyday conversation. For example, I don't like coffee. Neither do I. I haven't seen that movie. Neither have I. I can't swim. Neither can I. So neither did I is simply a polite and natural way to say, same here, I didn't know it either.
And there's a blue caterpillar.
Blue caterpillar.
Do you think I've gone round the bend?
In this line, Alice asks, do you think I've gone round the bend? The phrase I've gone is short for I have gone. It's the present perfect tense, which we often use to talk about changes or states that have happened up to now. Finally, round the bend is an idiom. It doesn't literally mean going around a corner. It actually means crazy, not thinking clearly, or a little bit mad. It's informal and often used in a light, humorous way. So when Alice says, do you think I've gone round the bend? She is basically asking, do you think I'm crazy? Alice says this line because she's describing a dream that sounds completely strange and unbelievable. Falling down a dark hole, meeting a dodo bird, a rabbit in a waistcoat, a smiling cat, and a blue caterpillar. These things don't happen in real life, so she feels a little embarrassed and unsure about how her father will react. She uses the idiom gone round the bend to ask, in a humorous way, if all these bizarre things make her sound crazy. It's her way of checking, does this dream make me seem weird? Or, do you think something is wrong with me? This shows that Alice is confused by her own dream and is looking for reassurance from her father.
I'm afraid so. You're mad, bonkers, off your head. But I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are.
I'm afraid so. You're mad, bonkers, off your head. But I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are. In this part, Alice's father responds to her question about being round the bend. He starts with the phrase, I'm afraid so. This doesn't mean he is scared. It's a polite way of saying yes, when the answer might be a little uncomfortable. Then he uses several informal words to mean crazy, mad, bonkers, off your head. These are playful expressions, not serious insults. They're often used jokingly between friends or family. But then he softens the moment with a comforting line. But I'll tell you a secret, all the best people are. Here he means that being different, creative, or a little unusual is not a bad thing. In fact, he says the best people, the most interesting, imaginative ones, are like that too. So he's encouraging Alice, telling her she's fine just the way she is.
I'm afraid so. You're mad, bonkers, off your head. But I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are.
Thanks for watching our Alice in Wonderland English lesson. If you enjoyed learning these idioms and grammar structures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more videos. See you in the next lesson. Happy learning!